All right, and now for our exit ticket out of this section. Let's graph the line y equals 2/3 x plus 1. I know it has a fraction in it, but maybe we can be a little clever on how we plot point this particular graph. So let's do our xy table. And I'm going to expand it out this time. So I'm going to have x and then y equals 2/3 x plus 1 and my x value, or my y value, excuse me. So I have a little bit of an expanded xy table. Now, again, I said we can choose any values of x that we want to choose. And we remember that my favorite values are lower values, so the math isn't too complicated. But also, too, there might be times that we want to choose clever numbers. What do you mean by a clever number, Willie? -6 is a clever number. -3 is a clever number. 0 is a clever number. Plus, it's just a wonderful number. 3 is a clever number. And +6 is a clever number. And you're asking, well, why are those clever numbers? Well, let's just see if you can kind of catch on why those might be clever numbers. All right, so let's use -6 and work through our equation. So that's 2/3 times x plus 1. So what is 2/3 times -6 plus 1? Well, that becomes 2 times a -2, which is a -4, plus 1, which is a -3. Do we know why -6 was a clever number yet? All right, well, let's try the next one, -3. So that's 2/3 times a -3 plus a 1. If we solve that down, that produces a -2 plus a 1 gives me a -1. Let's try a 0. That solution is a 1. Working on the 3. Two-thirds times 3 is a 2. 2 plus 1 is a 3. And the last number that we have is 2/3 times a 6 plus a 1. 2/3 times 6 is 4. 4 plus 1 is a 5. And then from there, it looks like I have some coordinate pairs I can look at. -6 and -3. -3 and -1. 0 and 1. 3 and 3. And 6 and 5. So is anybody able to describe yet or to see why that was a very clever version or clever values to choose? Notice that each of these values eliminates the fraction within the answer. I chose a multiple of the denominator. You didn't have to do that. You could have chose -2 or -4. Those would have gotten you good solutions. But likely they would have got you a fractional y value in that. And that's a valid solution, just maybe a little bit more difficult to graph at this point in time. All right, so let's plot this out. Draw a normal xy table. Looks like I have -6 to +6, which are my highest values in a 5. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Start finding some of those points. And so the first point is -6 and -3. So backwards, think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down 3. -3 and 1. Over 0 and up 1. +3, up +3. Over 6 and up 5. Connect those those dots in a smooth line. And other than my squiggly line, they look like they would appear to be on the same line. And so all those points are valid points. And I was able to plot 2/3 x plus 1. So don't be scared if you have to deal with an equation with a fraction. You might be able to, if you're clever, choose some numbers that will eliminate the fraction in your algebra. So then your geometric points will be clean points, -6 and -3. I can plot that point a little bit easier than -6 and or -5 and 4 and 2/3. But each to their own. You're welcome to do that. All right, I hope that was helpful. I hope this gets you off to a great start as we look at these things, because this is a fun part of math.